Good morning. Welcome to our webinar. We're going to be talking about video recording options for teaching online. So I'm Wendy Tietz. I'm at Kent State University. I also have Jennifer Canis from University of South Florida on with me, and Tracy Miller-Nobles from Austin Community College. So the three of us are going to be talking about options for recording videos. This is not a how-to as much as showing you some options, some advantages, some disadvantages, and some things to think about when you're creating your videos. So we do have 6 tools and ideas for recording video options. The slides today can be found at http://tiny.cc/AIA-videos. Also, probably tomorrow, I will be emailing out a link for today's recording and a link for the handouts, and feel free to share those with anyone you wish. So we're going to get started, and I'm going to turn it over to Jennifer.
Thanks, Wendy. So before we jump into the tools, then we wanted to do a little introduction because we're aware that several of you maybe have never created videos for your class before. So probably a lot of you, including ourselves, looking at some aspects that we need to do. We're trying to figure out just how do we even get started. So I think when you're creating your videos, the best thing to do is do a backwards design where you think about ultimately what it is you're trying to convey to your students, what you want them to learn, and then you can think about the tools that will help you convey that message the best. Looking at the tools, of course we're not going over all the tools today, but these are just some tools that we have all used, so they're pretty tried and true and we feel pretty comfortable with recommending. I also would urge you to resist the temptation of just creating a video, a 45 or 50-minute video that is a typical lecture like you would have in a normal class. And I think it's important to not do this for lots of different reasons. And going forward, Wendy, first of all, if you create a lecture video that long, then you're going to lose your students probably within the first 5 minutes. So you definitely want to think about what type of presentation you're doing, and then think about the video recording tools that will help you do that. So kind of breaking it down, a presentation is what I would consider your typical lecture, right? You use a presentation to present content, informational content. When you're doing a video versus a live presentation, you really want to try to break it into smaller topics rather than just one long lecture, because it's hard for people to process all of the information you're giving them, especially with a video. So for example, if you were doing some kind of lecture on, say, the time value of money, then you might want to break it into smaller chunks where maybe you talk about some present value examples, and then create a smaller video talking about some future value types of examples, single sum and annuity, and then maybe have a third video where you're showing some applications. So you definitely want to try to break it into smaller topics. It will also allow your students to be able to, watch a small video, and then if they, only have a short amount of time, then they can kind of watch the videos at their leisure and kind of chunk the information into smaller, more digestible types of things to comprehend. I would also suggest staying away from just reading the slides. That's just good presentation style anyway. We know we all hear from our students, professors that just read the slides. They always say, well, I could have just read the book, or I could have read the slides myself. So I would encourage you, as you're creating your videos, then think about how you would normally discuss these topics in class, whether you do storytelling or you give examples, or maybe examples from Accounting in the Headlines like Wendy's blog, and just think about how you would talk about this in class, and then make sure you interject that into your video, because it will make it a lot more interesting for your students and it will make them want to watch it, right? So I would definitely consider doing that. The next type of presentation you might be doing is a tutorial video. So you could use some of the video recording softwares we're going to talk about today, but it's more about showing students how to complete a certain task. So these are great for showing a process, like if you've ever seen any of our videos that we've created for students, how to use Excel, Power BI, or Tableau. I was just doing one this morning trying to set up an amortization schedule to show students. That should be scripted. with a lesson plan that's planned in advance, because it will help you minimize things like and awkward pauses. So I would definitely plan out how you, step by step, how you want to show the students whatever process you're showing them. It could even be working certain types of problems, but then script it in advance so you can kind of walk them concisely through the problem. I would say these videos I'd keep to a length of no more than 15 minutes. Normally your lecture videos, you're going to keep those a little bit shorter, but if you're showing them a process where they're kind of doing it along with you, then I think it's okay to go a little bit longer, just because you're keeping them actively engaged if they're kind of doing it as you're doing it. They're watching and doing at the same time. The next type would be a screencast, and this is often used to capture things in real time. So you're using it more informally. I think a great tool for answering student questions, like Collaborate Ultra or Blackboard Collaborate. I've used it many times to just hold review sessions where students can come in and they can ask questions, but you can record those and make those recordings available later. So I've used those a lot to work problems or show students different examples, but it's kind of on the fly. So not so much scripted, and it's just a recording that they can refer back to later. Some best practices for video lectures in general, in case you've never created any of these before, is you want to make sure you break them into smaller chunks. So like I said, if you're doing a presentation where you're just presenting content, then an ideal length is usually 6 to 10 minutes. But definitely make sure you're interjecting, stories or different examples to keep the attention of your viewers. And I'd say a tutorial could probably go for about 15 minutes because students are watching and doing at the same time. You definitely want to avoid cognitive overload. It can be very overwhelming, and we know our students are already overwhelmed at this time, as we are. So you definitely want to be thinking through those things, and that's why it's really important to kind of keep your video lectures not by a typical lecture anymore, but thinking about breaking it up by topic. You want to work from a script to keep it concise, unless you're just doing a screencast type of video where you're just kind of doing things and answering questions on the fly. You also can definitely include some interesting visuals, but you also want to have some balance there. I think visuals are important, but you don't want to have so many that it becomes too distracting. Like, for instance, Prezi is a type of kind of a PowerPoint type of add-on that you can use, but probably some of you have seen those presentations where if you have too many animations and different things going on, then at some point it becomes distracting, where they stop listening to you and what you're trying to say in the video and just focus on the visuals. And then I would encourage you to try to speak enthusiastically and authentically, right? You're still teaching a class, you're still trying to convey information to your students, so just teach like you would normally teach. I think if you sound too scripted and rehearsed and you're just reading a script, then it's not going to seem authentic and genuine. And I think that's really important for your personality to show through for your students right now. So just some things to think about as you start creating some of your videos. And now I'm going to turn it over to Tracy to talk about some of the tools.
Thank you, Jennifer. So let's get started with our first tool. Before we talk about Camtasia, I do want to remind everyone that if you have questions, you can post your questions in the Q&A area of Zoom. So we'll answer all questions you have at the end of the presentation. So please post any questions you have in the Q&A area. So the first tool that we're going to talk about today is Camtasia. Camtasia is a video recording software that I've been using for a long time. One of the things I like about Camtasia is that it allows you to have the ability to create high quality videos, and the videos can be a screen recording of anything that you're showing on your screen. So it could be recording PowerPoint, it could be recording Excel, it could be recording you writing on the screen. So Camtasia can do anything that you want to record. It also can record your video too. So if you want to, in addition to showing a PowerPoint or a screen capture, you can also record a video of yourself using your webcam. And the great thing about Camtasia is that it's available for all of our Windows and Mac computers, and there are a lot of resources available on the TechSmith website to help you learn how to use the software. and it produces an MP4 file that's easily shareable. So I always take my Camtasia files and upload them into YouTube, and then I share the YouTube link with my students in my learning management system. By uploading it into YouTube, YouTube will automatically close caption it. Sometimes I have to go in and adjust the closed captioning just a little bit to make sure that it's making sense. But it's a nice way to make sure that the videos are fully closed caption and it's a link that's accessible by everyone. Now, the disadvantages for Camtasia is that it is a steeper learning curve, especially when it comes related to the more advanced features. If you want to just be able to record your screen, I think Camtasia is a great option. But if you want to do things like you can add polling questions in Camtasia, you can add different call-out features. All of those types of things will require a little bit more of a learning curve. And then really the biggest disadvantage is that this is not a free product, although they have a 30-day free trial. So you could try it out, but it's relatively expensive. The educational use is $169. I would encourage you, though, to check with your college or university, because many colleges and universities have a package where you can get Camtasia for free through their license. So the next screen, we're going to see a picture of what Camtasia looks like. So you can see here, Camtasia allows you to record the screen. You can import media, so you can pull together multiple videos and bring them into one overall presentation. Really robust system for recording Camtasia videos. So now I'm going to pass it over to, I think it's Wendy, to talk about Snagit.
Yes, thanks. So the reason we're talking about Snagit, it is also made by TechSmith. And TechSmith, Snagit, you can think of it as the small little cousin of Camtasia. Camtasia is an excellent program, but there is a learning curve involved with it. Snagit is much easier to use. You can use it for videos, so you can record anything on your screen. You can also use it to make screenshots, and then you can add arrows and text and whatever you want to your screenshot. You can blur some of the text if you don't want the text visible in a screenshot you're doing. And Snagit is $30 for an education license, so it's a lot less expensive, and it doesn't have all the bells and whistles as Camtasia, but it's a nice second option. And Snagit, when you install it, it basically comes with this big red button that lives on your system, and then you can just, all the options you have are right there. When you want to start the video or an image, you click the red button, and that starts off the process. So it's really easy. I would say of everything I use Snagit every single day of my professional life to do annotated screenshots. It's big use, but you can use it for videos as well. And you can be up and running with it probably in 5 or 10 minutes. So now I'm going to turn it back to Tracy.
Yeah, thank you. So another tool that I use to record videos is the PowerPoint. In PowerPoint, recording a slideshow. So many of you already use PowerPoint because you have PowerPoints developed for your traditional classes. And so you could simply record a slideshow in the PowerPoint software. The great tool about this is that it's included free in PowerPoint, and it's super easy to use. You just click the record button and start your PowerPoint just like you normally would. The disadvantage, though, of this basic version of recording a slideshow in PowerPoint is that it only records the slides in the PowerPoint. So it doesn't do any type of screen capture. If you wanted to show anything other than PowerPoint, it would not record anything else. You also aren't able to edit the recording, so you can't, if you want to cut something out or clean the recording up any, you don't have the ability to do that. So what we're going to see on the next slide is how you access the PowerPoint recording. So you'll have your PowerPoint already created, and then you'll click on the slideshow link, and then in the slideshow link there's a button that says record slideshow, and you simply click that button. It comes up with the presentation, and then you'll click the record button and you'll start recording. And it's going to capture your narration along with every slide. And then that will allow you to have a audio PowerPoint to post for your students. Now, Wendy's going to share a new version of the record slideshow feature in PowerPoint that has some more details.
Okay, thanks. Before we leave this, the terminology that we're going to be talking about is similar but different. So this is record slideshow, and it's under the slideshow ribbon in PowerPoint. That's what you've seen for years. So what I'm going to show you next is different. It is not in this place in the ribbon. It is not called record slideshow. It's called recording. So very similar terminology, but they are two very different features. So I'm talking about PowerPoint recording, which is different than slideshow record. So I'm not sure why they did it so confusing. I'm guessing they're going to be phasing out the one that we've known for so long. This to me is so exciting. Once I saw this, I feel like I don't have a whole lot of other things I need to use for recording videos. It is new in PowerPoint. It's included in Office 365. It includes narration and slide timing, and you can edit your slides and your audio, and it will display your slide notes as you record. So if you type kind of a script or notes for yourself in each slide, it can show you that. I'm just going to show you a couple screens here of what I'm talking about. So first of all, when you go to do this, up at the top of the screen, this is a screenshot that I have. There in your ribbon, it says recording. Now, chances are you don't have recording in your ribbon, okay? You're going to have to add recording to your ribbon. It doesn't come automatically, so you have to take that step to add it, and I'll talk a couple slides from now, I'll show you how to find those instructions. But very easy. Once you know how to do it, you do it. But this recording feature up here, so it's separate. It's not under slideshow. This is recording. And you see I have my PowerPoints here. There's a record slideshow button there. So that starts the process off. I'll show you what that looks like on the next one. There's also a screenshot. So you can record a screenshot of anything you have open on your computer. So if you want to take a screenshot of a Word document or a browser page, you can do that. You can also do screen recording. So if you're in your PowerPoint and then you want to show walking through Excel, you can do that with a screen recording. You can also insert videos, you can insert audio that you're not doing yourself, and then you can export to video. So you can make an MP4. And what's so exciting about this is these features are all what some of us were paying for separately in iSpring, which was my choice, but it was expensive. So once you hit back here, there's the record slideshow button. Once you hit that, your screen's going to look like this. You get like this black screen. In the middle up here, I just typed some, these were my notes in my notes to my PowerPoint. So it will display, and then it has ways you can make those notes bigger. So if you need to see them in a larger font, that's there. So you can display those notes or not. There's a big old red button here called record, and that's how you start it, and you stop it right next to it. And you'll see below here, you have pens, all different various colors that you can use. If you don't have a pen on your computer, you can use your mouse. And then there's a forward and backward arrow. And it is so easy to use, and you can go back and edit anything slide by slide. Okay, so the last thing I want to tell you about this, if you're excited about adding recording, Google record a slideshow with narration and slide timing, and it should be the first thing that pops up. Microsoft Office has excellent instructions for it if you ask for it the right way, because again, everything's tangled up with that older version. Once you create an MP4 file, you can upload it to YouTube, and do not upload customarily MP4 files to your LMS. If you're new to this, you don't want to just say, oh, I'm going to put my MP4 file on Blackboard, because that will quickly bog down Blackboard for your school. So you need to use links in your LMS. That's just my word of wisdom there. So PowerPoint recording, new, but you can get the instructions from Microsoft, and it is such a great tool. So now I'm going to turn it back to Tracy.
Thanks, Wendy. Yeah, I'm super excited. I haven't played with the new recording for PowerPoint. I'm super excited about it. It seems like it's going to be a perfect solution for faculty who are looking to do recordings of PowerPoints they've already created without having to purchase any additional software. So really awesome that we have that tool now. So the fifth tool that we're going to talk about is Screencast-O-Matic. If you've been following our webinar series this week, you've maybe you've heard us talk about Screencast-O-Matic. We talked about it yesterday when we talked about increasing student engagement in the classroom. But Screencast-O-Matic is a web-based video recording platform. It is super easy to learn. Matter of fact, this is what my students use to record their presentations that they do online. And I have minimal questions that students ask related to how to use the software. So everyone is able to learn how to use Screencast-O-Matic. The great thing about Screencast-O-Matic is that there's a free version that works very well, and there's a premium version that you could purchase. The only thing that you need for Screencast-O-Matic is just the internet. So they could record using their phone, but it works much better on a computer with a nice browser. So the disadvantages of Screencast-O-Matic is that it has to have Java installed or up to date, or they could have trouble viewing the video. So we could have some functionality issues if they try to use it on their phone if it doesn't have the Java installed on it. And then also the free version of it doesn't allow you to have any functionality or any editing capability. So it's really just what I like to refer to as a quick and dirty version of being able to record a video. But it's a nice version to have your students, it's a nice option to have your students record presentations and post those presentations to YouTube or the learning management system. So what we'll see on the next page is just a screenshot of the Screencast-O-Matic site, and you can see, as simple as it is, you just click on that blue button right there that says start recording for free, and then you are all set up and ready to go. And it takes you to the screen recorder, and you just simply click on that orange button right there that says launch free recorder. And then it allows you to select the area that you want to record. And then down on the left-hand side of the screen, you'll see that big red record button, and you simply click the record button. Notice that you or the students who are creating these videos, you can record your screen, you can record just the webcam, or you can record both. So I encourage my students when they're doing their presentations to record both. I want to see not only their PowerPoint presentation, but I also want to see the webcam because I'm grading them on their presentation styles. So this is a great tool that's available to show you that you can use, and also really easy for your students to use in recording videos. I'm going to pass it over to Jennifer. She's going to do our last tool for today, which is our Livescribe.
Thanks, Tracy. So Livescribe Smart Pens allow you to record audio as you write with a pen. There's a few different types of pens you can purchase. I have an Echo Smart Pen, so I only have experience with that. The advantages of being able to record audio as you write is you can write and record what you're saying, and it automatically will digitize your notes. So once they become digital, you can record both text and graphics, and you can easily upload your recorded notes to your computer, which makes it really nice to organize and share them. What I did, I used these quite a lot a couple of years ago because I converted one of my courses to online. And I really wanted to be able to show students when I worked problems kind of step by step how you would solve that problem. So I was looking for different solutions, and I created several pen casts using this Livescribe pen where I would write. There's a certain type of notebook you use, and I'll show you a picture of it in a minute, but you just hit a little record button in the notebook, and it's literally like you're writing in a notebook, but you're talking as you're writing, and as soon as you're done, then you pretty much just plug in your pen to your computer, it uploads it and converts your pencasts as PDFs with audio. So it's really a nice way to kind of show or capture you working out some problems. You can go ahead, Wendy, sorry about that. Very easy to learn how to use. Some advantages, advantages. Sorry, we need to go to disadvantages. Sorry, we're moving around, disadvantages. So the disadvantages to this is the Echo Smart Pen is kind of expensive. I was looking yesterday and it seems to run anywhere between $130 and $180. So it is quite an investment. Again, you could possibly work through your school to see if you could get a discounted price. It does only work with a specific type of notebook, which we're going to show you on the next slide, and the cost of the notebook is around, for a 4-pack is $25. So a little expensive. Your storage does depend on your memory size. And then just kind of a tip, when sharing the videos, it can be a little tricky depending on the browser you use. So it used to work really well with all browsers, and then recently it seems to be kind of a little trickier where it doesn't like Chrome anymore, but normally if you open those PDFs with audio in Firefox, it works fine, but has been a little bit trickier going forward. So now that we're kind of moving to this online environment, I've kind of dusted off my pen and have been playing with a little bit to try to figure out how I can work out some of those kinks, but that's just something to be aware of. So here's a picture of the Echo Smart Pen and a picture of the notebook that I wanted to show you. So it looks just like a regular notebook, but if you look at the bottom of that notebook, then there's some buttons where you can have a record button. It's kind of the one on the left there. And then you also have a pause button and you have a stop button. So literally when you get ready to start writing, then you just hit record. And then from that point forward, everything you write or say is being recorded. So pretty neat, very, very easy to use, and then very easy to just upload, plug the pen into your computer and you can upload them and you're on your way. If you get the Echo desktop application, then you can also organize your notes. You can kind of see on the computer screen there that you can organize your notes, and now they have some features where you can do searches for certain things. So it will search your notes for keywords if you're trying to organize it or find a file if you have several. So lots of really neat features. And since I haven't used it in probably about 1.5 years, I'm kind of excited to dust it off and start using it again and playing with some of the new features. So kind of moving forward, then on Friday, we're also going to cover how to write on your screen, which Livescribe is one of those ways. But we're going to cover a variety of hardware and software solutions to help you write on your screen and record it. So I would definitely, if you're interested in learning more about those types of solutions, then look at our webinars page on accountingisanalytics.com to register for that webinar as well. And then again, here's our website. So you can, sign up and enter your email address right there to follow our blog. And then you can kind of see along the top, if you've been following us a little already, we've added, when you look at the top, then we've added another, I guess, little button there for our webinar recordings that we've been doing. So feel free to check those out as well. And then our upcoming online teaching webinars, obviously we did video recording options today. So tomorrow from 3 to 3:30, we're going to talk about different polling options for online classes. And then on Friday, we're going to talk about the different options you can use to write on your screen. And that's from 11 to 11:30. Again, all of this is on accountingisanalytics.com. Also today, we also still have our analytics webinars that we're giving that we had actually scheduled before all of this happened. So this afternoon, then Tracy's going to be giving a webinar on Power BI for introductory accounting classes. And next week, I'll be giving one on using Tableau in introductory accounting classes. So this we just thought we would include because here we are, day 3 of our quarantine in Florida, and everybody's scurrying around trying to figure out how to get our courses online and transition. So I saw this yesterday and thought it was pretty fun to look at. So just a little humor for today. I think right now I'm kind of in the bottom middle picture. That's kind of how I feel right now. So I don't know if you feel the same way, but that's kind of definitely me at the moment. But hopefully by next week, then I'll kind of migrate over to the bottom right picture, but not quite there yet. So you can get today's slides again at http://tiny.cc/AIA/videos. And keep in mind, again, you can't click on it here. You'll have to type that into your browser, and it is case sensitive. And again, any questions, you can always go to accountingisanalytics.com. And I think with that, we're going to open it up for questions. I see we've had a few come in.
Okay, I have Jenny asked, do you know if Google Slides has a similar recording feature? It does not. So it's not, it doesn't have that feature. And again, Office 365 should be free to you as an educator. And so it is a pretty cool feature, but it is not in Google Slides at this time, and nor is it in Apple Keynote. And then there was a question about how to add recording to the ribbon. Again, you'll have to Google that. When I'm going to be sending out the recording and the notes for this webinar probably tomorrow. And when I do, I will send out the link for the instructions on how to add recording to the ribbon in PowerPoint. Microsoft has excellent instructions, but again, the difficult part is you keep getting references to the old version. So I will include that in the email that I send out tomorrow. Okay.
I just want to add that as a reminder, also all your students have free access to Microsoft Office 365. So Wendy mentioned that we as faculty have free access, but also remember all your students also have free access. So if you're looking for your students to create some presentations as part of the engagement in the class, they can certainly also add that recording to ribbon to PowerPoint and do some presentations through PowerPoint. The other thing I wanted to share was, and we didn't talk about it specifically on the video today, but you should also check with your publisher because especially in our introductory courses, all of the publishers have very robust videos created that cover multiple learning objectives and have audio and video files. So given the time that we have to get set up to be ready to deploy a fully online course, don't hesitate to rely on the publisher resources for some of the heavy lifting of the content. And then you can add in additional short videos, maybe working problems or adding additional supplements to those already created videos. So check out those publisher resources also if you're using a textbook that has some of those robust resources.
I agree. I think that's a great point, Tracy. So your publisher is going to have videos, and you can also search online. I know Susan Crossan has some tried and true videos from many years ago, and those still work, so you could sprinkle some of those in. And I think the idea, as we're trying to get classes online in a hurry, is to do a nice patchwork and bring in material from all different places. And recording an entire course right now with 2 or 3 days to work on it isn't going to work. But do it judiciously. Record what you need, but do use those publisher resources and then some of the other resources online.
Yeah, I'll also put a plug out for Jason Porter. If you teach intermediate accounting, he has some fabulous intermediate accounting videos that he's posted on YouTube. Jason Porter is his name, and I've used those in my intermediate course that I've taught at Berkeley, and they've been a great resource for students. So that's another, just do some searching on YouTube and you'll find some great videos out there.
Okay, I think we're going to wrap this up, so I hope everyone has a good day. You know how to reach us, and you will receive an email from me tomorrow with the recording link, how to get the recording feature on PowerPoint, and the handouts. Feel free to share with anyone, and have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.